You wake up at 3 a.m. and swing your legs out of bed in the dark. Your little toe finds the corner of the bed frame at full speed. For one blinding second, that toe is the entire universe. You hop, you swear, you clutch your foot like it might fall off. It's a tiny bone in the smallest toe you own. And yet the pain is total, absolute, all-consuming. Here's the part nobody tells you. That pain isn't actually in your toe. Your toe has no idea what pain is. It can't feel anything on its own. Pain is manufactured somewhere else, entirely inside your skull. Your brain builds the pain, then projects it back down into your foot. Which means everything you've ever felt was, in a sense, an opinion. A very convincing, very loud opinion your brain decided to have. Now scientists have actually tried to rank it. They built scales to measure the worst pains a human body can produce. And the pain sitting at the very top of that list is almost unbelievable. It's worse than childbirth, worse than a bullet. Stay with me. But first, you need to understand how pain is even made. It starts with tiny alarm sensors scattered all over your body. Scientists call them nociceptors, your personal damage detectors. You have millions of them, packed thickest in your hands, lips, and feet. That's why a paper cut on your fingertip feels so wildly unfair. When one fires, it sends an electrical signal racing up your nerves. The signal sprints to your spinal cord at up to 120 meters per second. From there, it shoots straight up into the brain for a verdict. And this is the strange part. The brain gets to decide how bad it is. The same injury can feel like a scratch or like agony. It depends on your mood, your attention, even what you expect. Soldiers have walked off battlefields barely noticing missing limbs. People have felt excruciating pain from wounds that were already healed. The proof is phantom limb pain agony in an arm that isn't there. The arm is gone, amputated, yet the brain still screams from it. Because the pain was never in the arm, it was always in the map. Your brain keeps a full map of your body, and it can still light up. So pain is real, but it has no thermometer, no honest ruler. Which made ranking it a genuine scientific nightmare. In the 1970s, a researcher named Ronald Melzack decided to try anyway. He built the McGill Pain Questionnaire, still used in hospitals today. It doesn't measure the injury, it measures the words you reach for. The sharper the words you reach for, the higher your score climbs. Add them up, and you get a number for something completely invisible. So let's climb that ladder, from bad to unspeakable. Start near the bottom with something you've probably felt, a bad burn. A serious burn overwhelms thousands of nociceptors all at once. And here's the cruel twist scientists found about burns. A shallow burn hurts far more than a deep one that kills the nerves. So the less damage, sometimes, the louder the scream. Wonderful. Higher up the ladder, a broken bone, especially a large one. Your femur is wrapped in a sleeve of dense, sensitive nerve endings. Snap it, and those endings fire non-stop until it's set. Keep climbing, and you reach a small enemy with a big reputation. An abscessed tooth infection trapped against a living nerve. There is nowhere for the pressure to go, so it just builds and builds. Grown adults describe it as being unable to think about anything else. Now we pass a pain roughly 3 million people feel every single year. The kidney stone, a jagged crystal dragged through a tube 3 millimeters wide. Patients who have also given birth often say the stone was worse. Which brings us, finally, to childbirth itself. On the McGill scale, unprepared childbirth scores a brutal 35 out of 50. It is one of the most intense pains a healthy body routinely survives. For a long time, people assumed nothing could possibly rank higher. Surely the pain that creates a human is the ceiling of human pain. But the McGill scale goes all the way up to 50. And there are pains waiting above childbirth that almost nobody survives calmly. So we climb past 35 into the part of the scale almost nobody knows exists. The next pain doesn't come from a wound, it comes from inside your own skull. It has a clinical name, the cluster headache. And calling it a headache is almost an insult. Doctors gave it a darker nickname, the suicide headache. It strikes one side of the head, always behind a single eye. Sufferers describe a red-hot poker pushed slowly through the eye socket. The attacks arrive in clusters every single day for weeks or months. Each one lasts from 15 minutes to 3 hours. They often strike at the exact same time each night, like an alarm. And unlike a migraine, you cannot lie still through it. Sufferers pace, rock, and clutch their head until it finally passes. Many rank it worse than childbirth, but it still isn't the top. The next pain lives in a single nerve running through your face. It's the trigeminal nerve, and it carries every touch from your face to your brain. When that nerve misfires, you get trigeminal neuralgia. It was once known as the suicide disease for the very same grim reason. Imagine an electric shock ripping through one whole half of your face. Not from an injury from a breeze, a sip of water, or a smile. Even brushing your teeth can drop you to your knees. Each jolt lasts only seconds, but it can return hundreds of times a day. So sufferers stop eating, stop talking, stop leaving the house. The usual culprit is a tiny blood vessel pressing on that nerve. Still, we are not at the top. 2 rungs remain. For the next one, we leave the human body entirely. Meet Justin Schmidt, an entomologist who got himself stung on purpose. Over 30 years, he let insects sting him again and again for science. Then he ranked every sting on a scale running from 1 to 4. He described each sting like a wine critic tasting pain. A honeybee, he wrote, is burning, corrosive, but you can handle it. But level 4, the very top of the scale, belongs to one creature. The bullet ant of the Amazon rainforest. It earns its name. The sting feels like being shot. Schmidt called it pure, intense, brilliant pain. Like walking over flaming charcoal with a 3-inch nail lodged in your heel. And it doesn't fade in seconds, it throbs in waves for up to 24 hours. One Amazonian tribe even weaves live bullet ants into woven gloves. A boy must wear the gloves and endure it 20 separate times to become a man. But even a bullet ant lets go of you after a single day. The worst pain a human can feel never lets go. It's called Complex Regional Pain Syndrome, CRPS. It usually starts with something small, a sprain, a fracture, a minor surgery. The injury heals, but the pain simply refuses to leave. The nervous system gets stuck in the on position and never switches off. Now a light breeze across the skin feels like open flame. The affected limb swells, shifts color, and burns hot, then icy cold. It has been nicknamed a suicide disease too, and this time the name sits at the peak. On the McGill scale, CRPS scores 42 out of 50. That is higher than amputation, higher than childbirth, higher than the bullet ant. Doctors call it, quite simply, the worst pain a human can feel. And here is the cruelest part of the whole story. It can be triggered by an injury as tiny as a stubbed toe. A stubbed toe. Remember the one from the start? 3 a.m., the dark bedroom, the corner of the bed. That flash of total, apocalyptic agony over one small toe. It felt like the worst pain in the world. It wasn't. It wasn't even close. But it was real. Your brain built it, and it meant every single volt. The same machinery that whispered to you tonight can scream. Nociceptors, signals at 120 meters per second, a brain deciding how loud to shout. Tonight, in the dark, it merely cleared its throat. Now you know it can shout all the way to 42. So next time your toe finds the bed frame, thank your brain for its restraint.